YouTube, what's good? It's your guy, Darian, BowTie, FragranceGuy, man. On the channel where we talk about fragrances, of course, but we also throw in some style and grooming tips. I want to make sure that the guys that listen to this channel gain some valuable insight on not only how you can smell good, but how you can look great as well. So if you're into that, make sure you hit subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications by hitting the bell icon as well. So that way, anytime a new video is uploaded, you'll get notified. Guys, quick announcement, man. On January 1st, I'm going to be launching something that's pretty daggone big. Pretty freaking big. And it's not a fragrance. But I'm going to talk to you guys more about that as we progress here over the next 2 weeks or so. But I just want to say, be prepared. If you are interested sincerely, if you are seriously interested in being the best version of yourself that you can every day, then I have something for you guys. So stay tuned for that. But today I'm going to be talking about the 10 best pickups of the year of 2024. This includes niche, indie, designer, clones, it all. Everything that you can think of, any type of fragrance genre. For me, these are my 10 favorite pickups of the year. So I'm gonna run the intro. We'll come back, we'll get into it. If you want to see what made the list of my best fragrance pickups for 2024, you guys know the routine. Keep it locked right here. It's go time.
The BowTie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. We're going to jump into it. Always remember, guys, I link as many of these as I can to the video. If it's not available to be linked to the video, then it's not available to be linked to the video. But I've tried to find these for the best price that I can find them for. So if you want to check out anything that's on the list, I'll have as many of these linked to the video as I can. Make sure you click products right there in the corner of the video to check these out. So these they aren't really in order, I would say, until we get maybe to the top 5 or 6 or so. But to that point, I just kind of put them on here. So, and I had to do 12 because I had so many great pickups, some things I couldn't leave out, and I get so many fragrances in on a yearly basis. I think 12 is reasonable. So the first one, I love this stuff. This is from the brand of Francesca Biani. This is called Sticky Fingers. Sticky Fingers. What you get with this one, man, is tobacco, orris, tonka bean, coriander, and a little bit of leather on the dry down. I love it. That's all I can say. Again, if a fragrance was good enough to make this kind of list, I really love the fragrance. And I got a lot of great ones I got in and added to the collection this year. And like I said, to make the top 12 best, it's gotta be special. And this is definitely special. Again, this is one you just got to kind of get your nose on, man. It's really hard to explain it, but just know that it is fantastic. I think the highlight notes are the tobacco and the orris. And this is kind of creamy. It almost, with the tonka bean in here, how it works with the orris and some of the other little bit sweeter notes in here, almost kind of knocks on the door of a gourmand, but it's not gourmand. But it kind of knocks on that door, and that's what I love about it so much. It gives me the just right amount of sweetness that I generally love in a fragrance with the tobacco in here. This stuff is fantastic. Has a slight bit of an animalic touch with some castoreum in here as well. And again, for me, where I'm in my journey, just a scent profile that I gravitated towards. So check it out from the brand of Francesca Biani. This is for niche heads, man. This is not for beginners. You probably won't vibe with this kind of stuff, but it's fantastic. This is called Sticky Fingers. All right, guys, next up is one of the best tobacco fragrances in my collection. This is from Les and Demiddas. This is called Vanille Vhavan. If you love tobacco, gotta smell it. Rum, cacao, tobacco, dry fruits. Oh, this is good. This is so good. Such an authentic smell of tobacco. Authentic smell of tobacco. I love the booziness that the rum provides for this fragrance. And then you got a little bit of that playful sweetness. I always love to have that in a fragrance, cacao, little dry fruits in here. This stuff is fantastic. So check it out from the brand of Les and Demiddas. This is called Vanille Vhavan. All right, guys, this next fragrance really blew me away. It's gonna be on my summer or maybe even fall. Spring list next year. One of the newer releases from Mind Games. This stuff is fantastic, man. This one is called Counterplay. Jesus, this is good. This has a banana accord in here, melon osmanthus, orange blossom, sandalwood. Oh, gosh, this is good, man. It's unisex, but guys, trust me. Don't be afraid to venture into that unisex world of fragrances. There's a lot of gems there that I think a lot of guys kind of miss out on. I mean, some people may not rock with unisex fragrances. It is what it is, but this is definitely one that could go either way. To me, it's like a 50-50 fragrance. And depending on if a woman is rocking it or a man, it's going to come off differently, obviously. But man, this is so freaking amazing. Cannot wait for the spring and summer where I'm going to wear this more. This is amazing. I like this even better than Prodigy, which was one of their newer releases as well. This was the one for me. Again, this is called Counterplay. All right, guys, next up, you probably, if you've been following me for a while, you probably know that this fragrance is going to make the list. This is from the brand of Argos. This is called Sacred Flame. And yes, the fragrance is fire. What you get here, guys, is peach, rose, cinnamon, patchouli, and tonka bean. So good. There's this very mouth-watering fruitiness in the opening. There's peach here, but there's also tangerine. All right, and then of course, you guys, as I just kind of mentioned, you know I love a sweet fragrance. I love sweet now, not overly sweet. That's what I tend to go for more so than like super sweet. I have to be in the mood for that, but man, this is giving me that perfect amount or right amount of sweetness that I look for now in fragrances. Love the note of peach. I'm starting to really appreciate that note even more. And this is just a phenomenal fragrance. There's no way for me to really describe it other than to call it that. So definitely one that I'm happy to have. Glad it made the list. This is from the brand of Argos. Again, this is called Sacred Flames. All right, guys, when I first got this fragrance, I told you would see this again. And this is from the brand of Electimus. They knocked it out of the park with this fragrance. This is called Spice the Arno. Spice the Arno. Man, this is so good, man. This is bran, cardamom, iris, and myrrh. And the highlight here is that bran note. It's kind of like a wheat accord. It kind of smells like wheat. I smelled it before in the Killian fragrance that I love. What is it called? They came out with Oldfashioned. It's kind of a remake of Single Malt. Kind of reminds me of Killian Single Malt, that wheat note. And that's what that brand is. It is a star player here. And it kind of, brand, when you smell it, it makes you, if you ever opened a box, this is the best way to describe it, open a box of cereal. A lot of cereal uses like this, has like the very similar smell when you open a box. And that's kind of sort of what brand smells like to me, that kind of wheat note here in this fragrance. And I love it. This is kind of like a gourmand collection that they're doing with Electimus. This is really good. Caspian Cherry is phenomenal as well. But this one, like I told you guys, was my favorite of the two, although the other one was more complimented, but it is what it is. Love this stuff from Electimus. This is Spice the Arno. All right, guys, this next fragrance is one from Guerlain. I have a lot of fragrances on here. Well, quite a few fragrances, I would say, that are discontinued, a little bit harder to find, but that's kind of sort of what I'm into now. I have a lot in my collection that, you know, when you first start out, things that you really want. And a lot of things that people really get early on. A lot of the Creeds and Bonham and now, you know, just more popular type fragrances. And then over the last 2 years, I've been really searching for things that are classically good, well-renowned for being like a great fragrance. And some of them are discontinued, a little bit hard to find, and this is one of them from Guerlain. This is Tampa Imperial. One of the best Tampa bean fragrances ever created. This is almond, Tampa bean incense, and obviously the Tampa bean is the main note in this fragrance. And the almond in here is a star player in the opening of the fragrance. The incense, there's a little bit of that, you know, kind of sort of in the background, but obviously the Tampa bean is the star of the show. This fragrance, this bottle that I have is a little bit older. Really hard to find this presentation of it, but I absolutely love it, man. It used to come with like this little sprayer on the top that looks like a little ball that you could spray, like very classic and old school. That was like the first iteration of it, but I got this one. Amazing fragrance. You guys know tonka bean is one of my favorite notes, and they actually, with the tonka and almond, they threw a little bit, like I said, of incense in here and a little bit of tobacco to kind of balance it out. But absolute home run. So glad to have this in my collection now from the brand of Guerlain. Hard to find this one, man. This is Tonka Imperial. All right, guys, the next fragrance, I picked this up around March of this year. So glad to have this in my collection. And my favorite from this collection now, from the brand of YSL, the Le Vestiaire de Parfums collection, this is Baby Cat. Man, guys, this is so good. This is black pepper, suede, bourbon vanilla, and saffron. I told you guys, not really as much a fan of the confectionery, sweeter vanilla fragrances. And you find that kind of vanilla in a lot of fragrances, but bourbon vanilla, not quite as sweet, a little bit more mature, a little bit more of a bitterness that kind of offset that really confectionery sweetness of a lot of vanillas that a lot of brands use. But this is perfect. It's a mature fragrance. I love the spiciness from the black pepper, nice touch of saffron in here as well. Phenomenal scent. This came in and took the #1 spot in my Le Vestiaire de Parfums collection, and that's really saying something because that is a phenomenal fragrance, that and Cabane. But this is just my favorite, man. And a lot of compliments on this one too. From the brand of YSL, again, the Le Vestiaire de Parfums collection. This made the list. One of my favorite pickups this year, Baby Cat. All right, guys, and I just mentioned this fragrance. It was released this year. One of my favorite niche brands, Killian. This is Oldfashioned. Oldfashioned, kind of a recreation of single malt, but it's Immortelle wheat. There's total balsam here, and they don't list plum, but I kind of pick up that same plum sweetness, fruity sweetness that I got from single malt. So I'm sure it's in here, although it's not listed. Home run. Again, they discontinued single malt. So glad they brought it back with Oldfashioned. This is one of the best fragrances from Killian. And that's really saying something because they got some absolute all-stars from that brand. Angel Share, Black Phantom, Apple Brandy. I could go on, but this is one of the great ones in that entire house. So glad they brought it back. This is called Old-Fashioned. All right, guys, another one of those discontinued gems. A little bit harder to find this. Darn near almost impossible, but from the brand of Frederic Malle, Dries Van Noten. Oh, man, I can't do this. Sandalwood, vanilla, nutmeg, tonka bean, and vanilla. Man, this is so good. This is phenomenal. I'm gonna spray it right now. This is phenomenal. This is so good. It's so good. It's so good. Everybody, and I told you guys before, people tell this has a gourmand appeal to it, and that's really unique because Frederic Malle didn't really have anything from the house that has a gourmand touch. The only thing you can say maybe is Musk Ravageur, because on the dry down you have that Cinnabon kind of thing going on. So this was kind of their gourmand. It is creamy. It has a little bit of sweetness there. Like I said, a little bit kind of plays into their gourmand territory. But it has a sophistication to it as well that I would expect from the brand of Frederic Malle, and a quality that I expect from the brand of Frederic Malle. This stuff is phenomenal. I had to have it. When I hear people describe a fragrance and say it kind of smells like bread baking, and they mention that it kind of goes in that gourmand. Yeah, I had to have it. Not disappointed at all. I'm gonna cherish this because it's really hard to find. From Frederic Malle, this is Dries Van Noten. All right, guys, and next up, you had to be crazy if you didn't think this would make my list. From the brand of Louis Vuitton, I got this back in June. This is called Others. This stuff is phenomenal, man. Galbanum, there's ginger, cedarwood, as well as sandalwood in this fragrance, and I absolutely love it. So easy to wear. It's one of my most complimented fragrances of the entire year of 2024, and I don't love it for that reason. I just love it because I love the way it smells, obviously, and I love the fact that it's so easy to wear. And I just know when I grab this and put it on, I'm gonna be one of the best smelling guys in the room. Love having stuff like this in my collection. I've used a lot of it. This is all me, with the exception of maybe my son probably snuck in a few sprays here and there, but I love it. This is what I'm always gonna have in my collection for its versatility and likability factor from the brand of Louis Vuitton. Lovers. All right, guys, I got 2 more left, and this fragrance is from the brand of Christian Dior, the La Collection Privé Collection, Mitah. Mitah. This is coriander, cinnamon, amber, honey, and patchouli. Simply put, this is one of the best amber fragrances ever created. It does kind of still have some similarities between this and Ombre Sultan from Serge Lutens in the opening, but then it kind of goes in a different direction, man. That honey in here, the patchouli on the dry down, it's a little bit of spicy, some of the spicy kick in the opening. This stuff is just next level good. And of course, you know, amber is probably my favorite note in perfumery, so this had to be on the list. There's only one other fragrance I was more excited and happy to add to the collection this year, and you're about to see what it is. But this is phenomenal. And I was so happy I was able to find this 4.2 ounce bottle. I do have a larger bottle, which I think is 8 ounces or something like that, but definitely one of my favorite pickups. This is called Mitah. All right, guys, and last but not least, if you've been following my channel, you probably know what this fragrance is. I'm going to show you, and then I'll get into talking about it. From the brand of BowTie Victorious, Moccus. Moccus, Jesus, man. Lavender, orris root, caramel, benzoin, tonka bean, vanilla. This is good. I had to search far and wide. Again, shout out to Daquan, I think is his first name. I was only able to find this in a BowTie Victorious fragrance group on Facebook. That's how I found this. Outside of that, probably impossible almost to find. I do know a guy that I've been corresponding with that was able to find one bottle. This is a gem. I want to have this in my collection for the rest of my life. So I gotta savor it. Another one became available in the group, and I should have jumped on it, man. But you know, I kind of regret that I didn't, because this is one of my favorite fragrances now. Caramel. So you guys already know this has a gourmand feel to it as well, and yeah, I've been saying that quite a bit. Those are the kind of fragrances I love. Then it has this almost powdery earthiness that's coming from the orris root. You definitely pick up like an earthiness in here as well. It really offsets a lot of that sweetness. So it's powdery, a little bit gourmand, earthy, then it's spicy as well. You definitely get a lot of black pepper in the opening. Masterpiece, man. So glad to have this in my collection. So glad. From the brand of BowTie Victorious, Moccus. But that's it, guys. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed this video today, as I gave you what I feel were 12 of the best fragrances added to my collection. My 12 best pickups of the year of 2024. What were some of your favorite pickups from this year? I would love to hear from you guys now in the comment section. As always, I sincerely appreciate you guys' time and attention to these videos. You don't have to watch, but you do, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget, take a few moments to like, comment, and subscribe. Please make sure you're sharing these videos out to some other folks that you think could use the information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darren. I'm the BowTie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell fantastic. Keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.